each time I just didn't really like what I had said, but I guess I'll just start by saying that, you know, I was just talking about a mistake I made in ending friendships that I had, two friendships I'd had in high school. And, on my Uber ride back, and God willing, I will get past all of this from working this unjob, which my mom worked a lot of unjobs growing up, but I learned, which I have to kind of piece a lot of things together because there's so many holes and missing pieces. Even though recently I learned a puzzle piece that puts so much together with um, a lot of the crazy things that we'd experienced growing up. And so I'll just take it back where in this time period, I just kind of like needed a moment of country music for a second from when I was in like middle school and high school. And I'll take it back. In this time period, this is when this group was called the Dixie Chicks, not the Chicks as they're called now, I guess. And in this time period, this is when we would be moving from place to place. We were living in Sandy Springs and it moved from Lithonia to Sandy Springs. And this is parts of metro Atlanta area for anybody that is familiar. And, you know, my parents had separated, and that was actually a good thing. And it's crazy to be able to start to go back in time to be able to, hug your little girl self or your young girl self and bring her forward, which is why I call myself a girl slash woman now because it's kind of like I kind of come to understand a lot. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's kind of like delayed the things of kind of growing into myself older in a way that a lot of people do when they're young. Anyway, you know, I realized later as I was in college when I started to be able to deal with different things that we had experienced or I had experienced. I don't want to bring other people so much into this because I don't want to like tell other people's stories online, I guess. But basically, it was difficult because this is the time where we would move from place to place, maybe stay for a year at a time, 2 years, 3 years max. Okay, maybe my mom would be working telemarketing jobs. Before she passed away, she'd worked at Goodwill or at the airport. And I learned that she'd gotten from my father that she'd gotten a master's degree at 18 years old. And look, I'm just figuring out a lot of things now, but what I'm saying is that when I'm experiencing these things, I'm not really recognizing that these are things that differentiate me from others that I might be friends with. And it's not till later that I realized that kind of some of my experiences, while I understand my personal role in my mistakes, I also know that some of the things that were my normal, my default setting, I think they contributed in the generational things as well. They contributed to a lot of the bad decisions that I had made as well. And the difficulty in being able to share this with others that I had been friends with and who were progressing and I was stagnating due to my bad decision making and mistakes and lack of focus and confusion. And anyway, I say that to say that I ended these friendships pretty badly. And I hope that there's some way to add some type of to to give good in the world so that I can make up for what I did. Um, One, I ended badly on Facebook through a mean, nasty message where I sent it to two people, and one person who I had gone to college with for the first 2 years before they had not been able to come back, they actually had empathy for me given the pain I was going through and the harsh experiences I had experienced throughout my life. And the other one, well, which what do you expect? I mean, would you if I send a person a message, what are you gonna do? You will be the same way, like, what is wrong with you? You are messed up and blah blah blah. And, I did feel a little jealous too because they were going to law school and I could never even envision that for myself. And it's weird that I don't have that feeling anymore. I don't know what happened, but I really don't like that I had that feeling. But I do acknowledge that the majority of it was that I did feel also that I was not able to reach my potential within this friendship because I wouldn't be able to reach my worst places, if that makes sense. But that's all I want to say. I regret a lot of the things I've done in my past. I have a lot of amends to make, and also I have a lot of acknowledging and understanding, which I'll be of understanding and articulating. And I do a lot of emotional electronic blogging, which nobody really reads, but I guess at least it's to help me to get through things, which I do hope that I'm able to reach my potential and all of the goals that I've got in this life and be bigger than what each of my sides has given me as an upper limit, as a max capacity, because I'll have to be dealing with misogyny of Nigerian culture and the default setting for black girls as well, which includes misogyny, misogynoir, and both. And, when you multiply that, it's a double experience or an exponential experience where there are certain trapdoors that I will be able to enter in an oppression type of way. Anyway, all I want to say is I don't even want to bring that in. I just want to say that I've made mistakes and I really regret them. And I hope there's some way that I can make amends now that I kind of like um, hit everything I could while I was trying to fight to live and survive and breathe. And that's it. Okay, thank you for listening.